I'm joined by Charlotte Robson, who is a board member of the Newcastle United Supporters Trust. She's normally on Tyneside. We find her in London today. What a time to be away from your home city. Big news could be coming this afternoon.
The absolute worst time ever. I'm here for a wedding at the weekend, and on the train last night, as all this news started breaking, I was just like, oh, this is a bad time to leave. This is a terrible time to leave Tyneside.
Yeah, but what a party you may have this weekend if it's confirmed this afternoon, as expected, that this Saudi Arabian consortium are going to take over your club. Newcastle is on the verge of having its Chelsea, Roman Abramovich moment, if you like, Charlotte. But it's bigger than that, isn't it? Because it won't just make you the richest club in the Premier League. It'll make you the richest club in the world. Yeah,
by some margin, yeah. It's unfathomable, and I can't even speak. We have had 14 years of an owner who, hasn't been put as much investment into the club by any stretch that the fans would like, and so to have an owner with such deep pockets is really exciting. We're not looking, I don't think as a fan base, we're looking for immediately buying out Pep Guardiola and bringing him onto Tyneside, although, let's do that. I think as a fan base, we're just really excited to have new owners that are ambitious and are going to have a plan and are going to invest in the region as well, in the community.
Yeah, you mentioned Mike Ashley there. Before we move on to the prospective new owners, let's talk about Mike Ashley, 14 years at the helm of Newcastle United. When he arrived at St James's Park, he said he was looking for fun and trophies. Turns out you got neither. Newcastle United fans have not been very happy with him, to put it mildly, over the last 14 years, Charlotte. Can you upsum what the Ashley era has been like for you?
For me, yes, the Ashley era has been devoid of hope. It has been turgid football. It has been, to quote Steve Bruce, our current head coach, ticking along. The Mike Ashley era, to me as a fan, has been about remaining in the Premier League, but doing so at baseline cost. We have been relegated twice since Mike Ashley has run the club. We've come back each time because of investment he's put in, but immediately then taken out. We don't buy any exciting players, or we do so very infrequently, and it's about sticking plasters over quite significant wounds. For me, that's what his tenure's been like.
So Newcastle United fans want change. They don't want Mike Ashley. Are they happy with having Saudi Arabia instead of Mike Ashley? Because you know the question I'm going to ask, Charlotte. This is going to be a controversial deal if it does go through. Human rights groups have already pointed out, and, people are well aware of Saudi Arabia's human rights record. It is not good. Are Newcastle United fans happy to be associated with that? Or will they just, as my colleague James Secker put it earlier on to another fans group, just hold their nose and get on with it?
I think it's a really big question, and I can't answer on behalf of every Newcastle United fan if they're happy to be owned by the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia, should that come to fruition today. I think the happiness on Tyneside right now is that Mike Ashley is gone, or we hope, cross our fingers that is the case. I think it's really difficult. I think that ambition has returned to the club, and if you look at Twitter, Newcastle United Twitter has been so divided over the last year and a half, 2 years. To see it just united in excitement about what the future might hold, I think that's what fans are focusing on right now.
And Charlotte, I will point out, as many people on social media have asked me to this afternoon, that Saudi Arabia is involved in other sports. It's hosted boxing. There was similar questions asked then. It hosts a Formula One race. Similar questions were asked then. It's involved in horse racing, a hugely popular sport in this country. A lot of people saying, why is it always put on the shoulders of sports fans to make these ethical choices? Isn't it up to governments who do business deals with Saudi Arabia, who sell arms to Saudi Arabia? So sports fans are getting quite angry that they're always being asked to make these ethical choices.
Yeah, look, I think that it shouldn't fall to fans, sort of like Dave in Newcastle suddenly being asked to be the voice on a nation state's human rights record. Like, I just don't think that's fair. I think if you were gonna criticize anyone for this acquisition, should it happen, you have to look at the Premier League, you have to look at the government, you have to look at how we interact with Saudi Arabia as a country. I just think putting it on fans is deeply unfair when people are just doing their jobs, going about their normal life, and want to enjoy their football on the weekend. I know that seems simplistic, but that is what it boils down to. It's a really good learning opportunity, and it's a really good conversation to open up. We should be having it, but you're right, putting it down on the fans is just not fair.
Yeah, Charlotte, you raise a good point there about the Premier League and their vetting process, and it's been criticised for many years for various different takeovers, and it seems that this consortium has now passed all the business tests, all the viable financial tests, but there are no moral or ethical tests involved in the setup for the Premier League to approve takeovers of clubs. Do you think that is something that should be put in as part and parcel of this testing process for anyone wanting to own a football club?
It's a difficult one, because they did have this sort of wanting to establish separation. So it's the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia that has allegedly bought Newcastle United. And there was the question last year, because this was mooted last year, there was a question last year of whether or not that meant that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which runs the investment fund, or there is a blurred line there, are they actually going to be the ones that are running Newcastle United? Now, I understand that issue of separation has now been settled, because that was the key part of arbitration that Newcastle United was going to go to in January. If that's the case, then there is a bit of a moral, sort of ethical question being asked and being answered. But I kind of sort of bristle a little bit at the idea that it should be up to a sport sort of to be the moral and ethical arbiters of buyers. I don't know. I don't know the answer to it.
No, it's a complicated issue, and like you said, when it comes to Qatar hosting the World Cup, for example, or as we said, boxing being held in Saudi Arabia, these conversations keep coming up, but somehow it continues and just gets brushed under the carpet. It's just reared its head again. So it was interesting to get your point of view, Charlotte. Let's end on an upbeat note. If this takeover goes through today, it's not just transformative for your club. Yeah, fingers crossed. It's not just transformative for your club, but it's transformative for the city as well, because for those who are watching who aren't football fans, but may well have been to Newcastle, St James's Park is right at the heart of Newcastle. If you're shopping in Newcastle on a Saturday afternoon and a goal goes in, you can hear the cheers from the shops. It's very much Newcastle. So how transformative is it going to be for the city as well as the club, Charlotte?
Literally giving me goosebumps saying that, by the way. It's huge. It's massive. And as you mentioned at the start of this interview, the pockets of these people are very deep. And they've also already made the right noises about investment in community, investment in the academy, investment in the ground. The stadium needs upgrades. It needs a new roof. It needs paint. It needs, all kinds of things. And so for that sort of investment to start happening, I just think the region is going to benefit. I think you look at the geographical potential of fans coming to Newcastle United and to Newcastle. There isn't another Premier League club going south until you get to Leeds. There's nothing going west. There's Scotland north. There's nothing else. So there's so much potential for the region to really sort of benefit from this. And that really excites me, because Newcastle United is rooted in its community, and I'm very proud to be part of that community. And the potential now is huge.
It certainly is. Charlotte, let's hope it's a double celebration for you at this wedding this weekend. Are the bride and groom Newcastle United fans by any chance?
No, they're not. They're Londoners, unfortunately.
Oh, Well, hopefully,
I'll be raising my glass
they'll be
anyway.
pleased enough for you to wear your Newcastle United shirt to the wedding, should this takeover deal go through today. Charlotte, thank you so much. Charlotte Robson from the Newcastle United Supporters Trust, ahead of that proposed takeover by Saudi Arabia consortium. We hear it's going to go through before the end of the day.